It's a call to our Western neighbors, to Armenians, the nation who have been our enemies for over more than 25 years now. As you see here, in this video, I'm not addressing you with a burning Armenian flag behind me, because my goal is not to trigger you, to arouse your hatred and anger, or provoke all of your vengeful feelings. And well, I know that you can burn my flag as an adequate response. I want to talk to you, like a man, face to face, without any insult and with the best possible understanding, but with the ultimate seriousness at the same time. We are enemies. There's no need for further explanation for this. And obviously, that's the reason why there are countless accusations and slanderous comments against each other. The probability of disinformation being in the materials prepared by both sides about each other is always high. We're enemies, you know. Thus, the person who is actually trying to see the objective truths should know that the most biased information about a state or a nation can be found from its enemy's sources. Then why do Azerbaijanis try to learn about Armenia from Azerbaijani sources? Why do Armenians try to learn about Azerbaijan from Armenian sources? It's an undeniable fact that in order to solve a problem, the most vital thing to do is to look at it objectively. If it's hard to maintain the objectiveness, the best option here is to assign someone you trust as a judge between the counterparts of the problem. And if the problem is between two enemy nations or states, it's best to appoint a global community and international law as judges and look at the issue from its unbiased perspective. Now let me explain. As an Azerbaijani, I think that your current capital city, which we call Yerevan, not Yerevan, is our ancient city. Furthermore, Zengezur and Göyçe are the territories that we still call Western Azerbaijan. But international law officially recognizes those territories as Armenia. Thus, any claim to those lands would go against all international norms. This could make us an inadequate actor of an absurd situation. Believe me, we have plenty of sources to show that Yerevan, Göyçe, Zengezur are our ancient lands. But no matter how many sources we have in our favor, it doesn't justify our potential claim in the eyes of international law. You can claim that so many things happened in history. However, what's valid today is international law and recognition. Okay, throughout the history, both countries had been under Russian rule for a long time. So do you accept being a territory of Russia? Crimea is an internationally recognized Ukrainian territory. Do you accept that Russia has the right to annex this territory just because once it was under the Russian rule? Oh, sorry, actually you do. You have always accepted Russian hegemony. Let's keep going. The Ottoman Empire ruled Greece for about 4 centuries. Do you see Greece as an Ottoman land? Well, generally, how many years should territorial claims date back in order to be considered valid? What is the limitation for you? For us, and of course for the whole world, the limit is international law and recognition. We know that such territorial claims never end. Therefore, as an Azerbaijani, it would be right for me to assess Yerevan, Göyçe, Zengezur regions in the lights of international law rather than on the basis of personal and patriotic desires. I think that all Armenians should also determine their own attitude to the ownership of Nagorno-Karabagh and surrounding 7 regions in the lights of legitimate international law. Let me be as clear as possible. Although I don't accept, but still I understand an Armenian while he sees Karabakh as his own territory. Because of domestic propaganda and years of education, of course an Armenian is going to think as the way his government tells him to do so. But if as a result of this decades-long conflict, children on both sides are left without fathers and women without husbands, I think we should take the issue not on the basis of patriotic desires and emotions, but on the basis of globally recognized norms and international law. And here I think that there's no need to remind that almost all countries and international organizations recognize Nagorno-Karabakh as a part of Azerbaijan Republic. So in this case, what could be more objective than my request to the withdrawal of Armenian armed forces from Karabakh? Moreover, we must take into account that due to the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict, the Republic of Armenia not only sacrifices its own soldiers, but also is globally recognized as an aggressor state, being excluded from many international and regional projects, dooms itself to economic blockade and poses a serious threat to its national security, stability, and even its very existence. Given that Armenia's territorial claims are not limited to Azerbaijan, but it spreads also to Turkey, Georgia, and even Iran, this situation is becoming more brutal for Armenia. It's not a secret that thousands of Armenian citizens immigrate each year. Foreign investors avoid to invest in Armenia. As a result, unemployment emerges and so many potential opportunities are being lost in the first place. Because of this war, which has been going on for 1/3 of a century, both sides are spending billions on arms, weaponry, anti-propaganda campaigns, political issues, lobbying activities, and etc. From this situation, Armenia suffers the most, while it has no access to the seas and is exposed to economic blockade by both Turkey and Azerbaijan. And what else I want to mention is that we should know that it's 2020 already, and it's no longer an age of occupations and invasions. Power is not hidden under the abundance of territory. Boldly said, we can place 70 Israels in one Mongolia. However, Israel's GDP is 28 times higher than that of Mongolia. And here in the list, you see the Mongolian companies. Now look at Israeli companies here. Of course, not all companies are listed here, but I think these lists are enough for you to make an adequate comparison. The real prosperity of our time depends on the development of science, the diversity of international business relations, and the plentiness of local and international companies operating in the manufacturing and service sectors that create real value. Well, honestly, an Armenian-made PixArt is a great example for this. The Republic of Armenia would have made a win-win move by withdrawing its armed forces from Karabakh and returning these lands to its legal and internationally recognized owner, Azerbaijan. Both countries and the entire region would benefit from this move, and peace would bring so much more gains to both countries and the region. The only loser here would be the ever-occupying imperialist force, which is maintaining its very existence by divide and dominate rule, by regularly selling arms to both countries and pushing for keeping the status quo. I think you all know who I'm talking about. There is no such thing as permanent occupation between two neighboring countries, if one of them is not an empire, of course. So at some point, there will be a full-scale war between Armenia and Azerbaijan if the occupied lands will not be returned back to its legal owner. This will bring further pain and losses to both countries. So think twice when you're thinking about Karabakh. Its owner is Azerbaijan, not Armenia.